Recording. Turn on Facebook. Video screen is going. E-commerce family entrepreneurs. We are on episode 5. Special guest here. Awesome. But not too many people going to talk about successful family entrepreneurs and real life superheroes. I'm your host, Monica Busby, also known as the Psychic CEO. Hey. We are going. Hello. We are on episode 5, going to you live. And I am introducing here the one and only Perry Coghlan III. I want to make sure I got your audio in. Mic check. Can you say a little bit of something, Perry?
Good evening, Monica. It's good to be here.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to make you pretty big here. Everything looks good? All right. So, this is a special edition, guys. None than only. It's June 13th, however, but we are very close to Father's Day on Sunday, and I want to highlight amazing fathers in e-commerce businesses this month, and it's an honor to have our first Father's Day guest, Father's Day edition guest, Perry Coghlan. I hope I spelled your last name correctly. Perry Coghlan III. He is a father of 13 kidpreneurs, happily married for 25 years and running a 7-figure e-commerce business. And I'm sure you're going to probably give us a little gist of what kind of e-commerce you are in. But before you do that, I wanted to make sure the folks that are tuning in right now live, if you can please, like the buttons so you can let me know that you're able to hear us as far as volume. And if you can share it, please share it on your private profile page. And if this is for those that are doing the rebroadcast, please don't hesitate to still post questions below. I'm still more than happy to look them through for the rest of the week and answer your questions. And perhaps Perry is also in the group, so he can definitely have any, if you have any questions, he can definitely look and answer them for you. Okay, so now, Perry Coghlan in the house.
Hey.
What's up? Okay, so this is raw, full on Facebook. I just want you to, let's just have a good one-on-one conversation, relax. Father's Day week. I hope you have some big plans. So my first question is tell us about how you guys got into the e-commerce world.
Well, that actually goes all the way back to the year 2000 when we opened our eBay account.
Oh, wow. You still do eBay?
We do a little bit. We're mostly FBA vendors, and we do some Joe Lister kind of eBay, push our Amazon stuff over to eBay. But back in the day, my wife was doing book arbitrage from library book sales.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And back then, you didn't have apps to scan with, right? So she'd memorize authors lists and good titles and go down and search for hours through the stacks in the library basement.
Were you guys a follower of Greg Murphy then? Because he's, hardcore in the book a little bit.
Yeah, we weren't. We had one friend from Chicago. I don't know if Valerie's listening tonight, but hi, Valerie. And she kind of mentored us into it and got us going on it. So we opened our account, I think, in the summer of 2000 and dabbled. We've just been dabbling for years ever since.
And so Kim is actually the one that got started on the e-commerce world, but it was more part-time for her, I believe, while you were still traveling and doing some full-time work somewhere else. Yes.
Right. So flash forward to January of 2013, the company I'd worked for 10 years closed.
Oh, wow.
And I took a job as a consultant traveling 4 to 5 days a week. And then in that was 2014. And then in the fall of 2014, our 12th child was about to be born. And Valerie again. Hi, Valerie.
Hi, Valerie.
Yeah. She reached out and she told Kim, you really need to look at FBA.
Oh,
And so we
wow.
started back again with books because that's what we knew. And from books, we moved to groceries in January of 15. In May of 15, we moved to shoes and clothes. And last year, primarily with shoes and clothes, we sold about $1 million.
Woohoo!
Yeah,
Congrats.
thanks.
My
It's been
goodness,
a,
it's been a blessing for many e-commerce sellers the last at least the last 3 to 5 years. I mean, it's just a constant growth. We're not even talking about like single digits. We're talking about like double, triple the income in the
yeah,
last 3 to 5 years. So, and
yeah,
it's just the beginning.
yeah, it
So,
is. And
okay.
we've been married 25 years in August, and I've always wanted to work from home, work with
Hmm.
my kids. My dad instilled that in me. He was a painting and drywall contractor when I was a kid. He used to take me with him. He dabbled in different businesses. So this has been a way for me not only to come home and be around the family, but I take kids sourcing. We homeschool, so I can say,
Whoop, whoop.
finish your math later. Come on, let's go shopping, you know?
Get some life skills in.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So I have to say, 13 kids. That's, I mean, I guess it's not a quiet. There's not much quietness in the house.
Now,
Um,
right now it's quiet. I'm at the dining room table because my wife put a movie on my daughter's laptop in an upstairs bedroom.
ah,
So we lured them all
the
upstairs.
tactics of
Right, right,
luring places where you could have some peace and quiet. That's
right.
awesome. So, what are the age range you're looking at from what's the youngest to the oldest?
Well, my youngest is about 6.5 months. He's a Black Friday baby,
Oh,
ironically enough. Um,
you didn't get to shop on Black Friday, I'm assuming.
oh yeah, I
Last
did.
last year.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you
Yeah.
did.
No, he was born at 5:30 in the morning, so I slept till 10, and then I went and sourced for 10 hours.
Oh my gosh, that's
Yeah.
hilarious. I love
See,
it.
that's one of the ways. One of the reasons I could is one of the ways that the business is successful is that we have a lot of adult help. Our children, we have a 15, a 17, a 19-year-old, and a 22-year-old living at home, um, and
You're,
they're
you're
super
22 is the
engaged.
oldest, right? You're 22 is the oldest then.
She's the second oldest.
Oh, okay.
My oldest is 24, and Deanna works in a taco shop and lives about 90 miles north of here in Austin.
Oh, okay, okay. So, but having the older kids have really made it more of a team effort for them to take care of the younger ones.
Yeah, they
S-
help out a lot. Um,
So, you would say the older kids have a lot more, you had to teach them more independence and they
well,
grew up pretty fast.
our method of homeschooling is pretty relaxed. I mean, we cover the 3 R's, but we expect the kids,
What are the
Bethany's
three
sitting here,
R's?
reading, writing, arithmetic.
Okay.
Um, we expect them to work independently and come to us with questions. And we sometimes, with a beginning reader, we'll have one of the teenagers pitch in and help with reading lessons or explain math. But we teach them to study independently pretty young.
So, is your homeschooling kind of combined with your business? Is that how are you guys juggling all of that?
Uh, well, I think I told you leading up to the show, we don't really have procedures. We have more like routines. The whole thing works because not because we're regimented, but because we're flexible. Um, our daily schedule, I'll usually get up and help get the kids breakfast and chores and homeschool started. And if they're diligent, they can be done by 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Is that
Um,
5 days a week when they homeschool, or it just varies?
uh, 4 to 5.
Okay.
There's definitely days when they get a day off to help with yard work or business, but generally it's at least 4 days a week.
Now, are they independently like for the from when the school starts to when school ends? It's either you or Kim kind of guiding them on the homeschool front as well.
Uh, yes, but I just take math for instance. We
Hmm.
use the Saxon math books for our
I
math
love
curriculum.
Saxon.
Yeah, I hated it. I grew up homeschooling. I didn't
That's
like
one.
it at
That's
all.
one of the best math books, though.
Yeah,
Jarrell's been on it for a good 5 years already.
yeah.
Yeah.
Kim loves it too, and so they have to do 1 or 2 lessons of math a day. Get to the
Okay.
end of the day, we expect to have it done, and they'll have to make it up tomorrow if they're trying to slack off. But so they get up. I tell them do math. It takes about an hour to do a lesson or two.
So they're independently getting work done for those four
Yeah,
four to
yeah,
5 hours. So that leaves you and Kim a couple of hours to get some business done. And
sure.
I'm assuming your business is at home.
Yeah, well, we're 99% retail arbitrage.
Okay.
So she does. We like to say we work separately together or together separately. Um, she works at the desk upstairs,
Hmm.
does the account maintenance, does the ads, feedback work, that sort of thing. Runs the VAs, and I'll head off to source most days. Uh, so yeah, the kids uh, have their daily schedule we expect them to do, but we don't really do school at home. So there's no one with a blackboard teaching them their lessons. Um,
Mm.
some use Khan Academy, some use Saxon. They're expected to read nonfiction and fiction and write about it. And then we just follow up periodically to make sure they're on track for their lesson plans.
So you're sourcing 7 days a week? Is that
No, we've begun to outsource some of our sourcing, but I source for 4 to 5 days a week.
so? You give or take maybe like 8 hours of sourcing a day or less?
Today I certainly did. A lot of times it's 6 to 6 hours, 5 to 6 hours. Shoes and clothes have a higher ASP, so it doesn't take us as long to hit our spending goals for sourcing.
Do the kids sometime go with you to source every day? And
Yeah,
I see pictures of your wife too, so she's not just on the desk.
yeah, no. She's still got one store that she loves to source, and she's cultivated relationships with the management team there, and so she'll do that Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday mornings.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
the kids love to go help us source. When we first started, we paid them by the piece to find stuff, and now we pay them just by the hour. But
I could only think like 15 people total, like really hitting the stores, and you got it all like down as far as efficiency, because probably two people could go to each store, and you'll be done with, let's say, an outlet or a store, and like with 15 people, maybe in 20 minutes, you probably spend a good $1,000 easily.
I wish. I once took like 8 of us into Costco, and we did a whole Costco in like 2 hours. We had a MiFi hotspot and iPads and phones, and we went after it. But no, most of the time it's just 1 or 2 people going with me, or Kim and I and one kid. And I'll go in a Ross or a Nike store and spend about 2.5 hours per store,
That's
um,
not bad.
and we can get 1,000 to 1,500 out 2 people in 2.5 hours.
Is it you don't want all the kids at once because the logistic aspect, or because your van, you got to have like a truck to
Yeah,
have all those
well,
products and those people. Unless
we
your
did that.
22 or 24-year-old is driving and
Yeah,
have
no,
separate
we
cars.
have four drivers in the house now, or three of our children drive. Have licenses. Two grew up and moved out, so there's 5 drivers total. We drive a Honda minivan, believe it or not, and the girls just we take a couple cars wherever we go. We used to drive the big white van, the E250 15 passenger, like the airport shuttle van, but it died, and the Honda's better on gas.
I'm
Uh,
telling you, those minivans. I'm a big proponent of minivans now.
yeah,
Huge, very versatile, and we just put a hitch. Actually, we just put a little mini U-Haul trailer
oh
behind it because we
nice.
ran out of room. But I love it. It's number one, it's affordable, and you can use it
Yeah,
in many different ways. Okay,
yeah,
so awesome. So next question is, you had spoke briefly about your dad kind of
mhm.
instilling that entrepreneurial spirit of him looking into other businesses and dabbling. Like, what other things have been a big influence that your parents have instilled in you? And is it you having 13 kids, were you planning to have that many kids?
So um, let's
I
start
know
there and
that's a
work
two-part
backwards.
question.
Yeah, no. That's cool. So I tell people it definitely is by religious conviction that we have so many kids, right? We're Presbyterians, and it says in the Psalms that children are a blessing of the Lord, and it says that they're a blessing in the same way that money is a blessing. The original Hebrew uses the same kind of language. It's treasure. It's an inheritance. Um, and I joke that I've never met a Christian yet or anybody that's like, "No, Lord, I've got enough money. Stop giving me money." So
We can't say
that's
that
kind
to
of
our kids.
that's the reason behind it. As far as what my parents did, I saw early on that my dad getting up early and running his painting business. He had several employees. He would pull me out of school. I went to private school, but there were days when he needed my help because I'm the oldest. So that was really formational in helping me to understand um, the value of hard work, but not just the value of hard work, but the benefit of working for yourself, right?
Hmm.
Um, and then as I got married without a college degree, I've always had a side hustle. And I've always made more per hour at my side hustle than I did at my regular job.
Mm.
So I needed to work a second job to help cover the new house payment or to buy a car or, whatever. And it just was a matter of time before we figured out how to turn that into a full-time business.
And
So we just,
Amazon or FBA is a huge, big,
yeah,
big key out of that one.
right. Well, over the years, I mean, we've run lawn care. We had 7 or 8 yards we mowed every week at one
Oh,
point.
wow.
Um, we have, I ran a carpet cleaning business using Von Schroeder carpet cleaning equipment, which is small footprint, so I could run it out of a small car. Um, my wife took a Foley Belsall course. I don't know if you remember those. There were mail order courses on how to learn a trade, and we ran
Mm.
a VCR head cleaning and repair shop out of our home for a while. So
Oh,
over the
wow.
years, we had these series of small businesses that kept us like our taste buds wet for being in business. And as our family grew, we knew we wanted to work together. But this finally with FBA is like they do all the customer service, they do all the shipping. Like we can run a mean eBay auction, but we're horrible at remembering to ship the stuff.
Yeah.
That's like our Achilles
Yeah.
tendon.
Yeah.
That doesn't
It's
work,
a lot
right?
of work just shipping all this stuff. So
Yeah,
it makes a huge difference. So
yeah.
does that mean going forward you guys are going to remain more FBA or expanding in the FBA world, meaning like in Europe, Amazon UK, or
Yeah.
other
Well,
Amazon
yeah,
partners?
we feel the next step for us would be wholesale or private label, and I'm actually studying right now. I'm trying to figure that piece out so that we can move into Europe, so we
But
can
you're
move
not
into
stopping
Mexico.
your RA. You're not stopping the
No,
RA.
not for now. No. In fact, as long as you can do it by the rules,
Hmm.
as long as you can stay alive, I don't see any reason to stop it. It's a pretty lucrative arm
It's
of our
so
business.
it's almost an addiction because we do it, and it's a great way
Yeah.
for even to do family trips together. But that's what we're
Yeah.
actually doing right now. We cycled across California, and so on our way back
Nice.
home, we're just sourcing.
Nice. Yeah, I saw
Mhm.
that. Your trip has been impressive to me.
Thank you,
That's
thank you.
pretty cool.
It's
Yeah.
Jarrell's first time to cycle across the state, so
Wow.
I'm really proud of him. It's hard
How
work.
about,
We went through snow, hail, rain, elevation. You might see a little bit of my raccoon eyes from all the sun so
yeah,
far.
well, we were just in Colorado for the Rocky Mountain Resellers
Ah,
Conference,
okay.
and we drove up to Mount Evans, and walking on top of the mountain was enough for me. Like, it kicked my rear end. I
Well,
can't imagine cycling.
the elevation, it's hard to breathe. I don't know how high Mount Evans is, but if it's hard to breathe, with Colorado, the entire Colorado state, it's hard to breathe.
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
okay, so I know we also talked about organizing, and you said you said flexibility. Do you actually have kind of a general, maybe you could explain a general routine that you guys
Sure.
do on a daily basis? And is that like, are you looking at it as consistent? Because I think with this FBA business, you have to figure out some kind of system or efficiency for your lifestyle that can get you those numbers too. So, how are you guys getting your numbers high and
Yeah.
keeping it?
Well, sorry. But part of it was we were able to outsource our prep last year. That
Ah,
was huge. My neighbor Chris, he came on board as part-time help, and he ended up we pay him by the piece, and he preps everything in our garage, in his garage. So that was enormous. Just gaining prep help
yeah,
allowed us to
huge.
double our volume. But as far as a daily routine, so my kids think they're abused if I get them up out of bed before 8:30 in the
Oh
morning. Like,
no.
they think 7 is early, right? So I try to get them up around 8:30. I get up between 7:30 and 8 and make coffee, and then I'll start waking them up. Uh, Let the wife sleep in because the baby still gets up.
Oh, did we lose you, Perry? Hello. Can I hear you? Can I hear you? Perry froze up a little bit there. Let's see if he's in. Check one, check two. Perry, why don't you log back in and I'll log you back out, okay? And see if that's working. All right. So while he's coming back in, let me see if I can get him in here already. Let's see if we can get him in. While we're doing that, if you guys, once again, if you guys are enjoying the show, please do share and repost on your private Facebook group or ask any questions. Please, we are encouraged by any topics you guys are interested in. Um, and I believe we have a couple more guests that are coming up. We got Eddie Levine happening next week. And if you guys can visit ecommercekids.com/start here, we can figure out what is happening with this thing here today. Not sure what's going on. All right, let me pause.